Hi Pre-K. This week we have been talking about zoo animals, and I'm a little late to the zoo animal party, so I'm going to read you a story today that has to do with a famous zoo animal named Curious George. And Curious George lives with the man with the yellow hat. So it is a story about Curious George and his adventures at the zoo. So I will read this to you. It's by Margaret and H.A. Ray, are the authors of the story. And first things first, Pre-K, I want to show you my beautiful plant, and this will probably be the last time I show it to you, but I brought it inside today since it was kind of windy last night and stormy. But look at all the blooms. There are so many. It is just bursting. I'm probably going to have to replant this into the ground soon, but for now it's doing okay in my pot still, and I love it. Curious George visits the zoo. This is one of my favorites. I love Curious George books. "George," said the man, "how would you like to see a real elephant? Let's go to the zoo." So the man with the yellow hat and Curious George are reading a book about zoo animals together. So now they're going to do it in real life. There was a lot to see at the zoo. There were the giraffes, which is one of my favorites, with their necks so long they seem to reach the sky. Take a second to show you the pictures every time. Look at those giraffes. They're so tall. Oh, make sure I get this one page. There were the kangaroos carrying their babies in a special pocket. And finally, there were the elephants with their floppy ears and their long trunks munching on hay. It was lunchtime. Here's the kangaroos and the elephants at lunchtime. People were eating on park benches and picnicking on the grass. That's really fun to do when you go to the zoo, have a picnic on a nice day. Oklahoma City has a really nice view, or a really nice zoo, and lots of views at the zoo. "I am going to find out what time they feed the lions," said the man with the yellow hat. "Wait here and don't get into trouble." Oh, those are famous words to Curious George. Don't get into trouble. He always gets into trouble. While George was waiting, he saw a zookeeper with a pail of bananas for the monkeys. And guess what Curious George is? He's a monkey. Do you think he's going to like bananas? Let's find out. There's Curious George with the seal, and the man with the yellow hat saying, "Wait here, don't get into trouble." Oh, and there's those bananas. What animal is that in the background? With all the black and white stripes, or the black stripes on the white body. Did you say zebras? That's right. The keeper put the pail down to get a drink at the water fountain. Uh-oh, big mistake. George was hungry. He grabbed the pail and ran away with it. Of course he did. Took too long at that water fountain. There's George, grabbing the pail. "Hey!" shouted the keeper. "Stop that monkey!" But George kept on running. A crowd of people was standing near the monkey house, just the place for George to hide. He can hide with all the other monkeys. But uh-oh, the other monkeys are a different color than George. He may stand out a little bit. Standing by the cage was a little boy holding a red balloon with a long string. Suddenly, one of the monkeys reached out, snatched the string from the boy's hand. So one of the monkeys in the cage took that red balloon. And ran to the top of the cage with that balloon. Then he tried to squeeze the balloon through the bars. The other monkeys started to shriek and scream. Oh my goodness, I can only imagine how noisy that is. You think all those monkeys are being really loud and noisy? Yes, they are. Trying to get that balloon. The little boy was crying. "Please, couldn't somebody get his balloon back?" asked the mother. "None of the people could reach that high, though." Oh no. Look at that little boy's face. He is screaming. And everyone's trying, but they're just too short. But George knew what to do. With the pail in his hand, he climbed to the top of the cage. He took a few bananas and fed them to the monkeys. That George, he's curious and naughty, but he's really smart. Look at everyone reaching up. There's that balloon. Here's George passing out bananas. While the monkeys were eating, George snatched the balloon and swung down from the cage. He handed the balloon back to the little boy. Wow, that was some fast thinking, George. And there's the little boy. He's not screaming and crying anymore. Everybody clapped and cheered. Yay, George! Just then, the man with the yellow hat came running. George, the man cried, I've been looking all over for you. But where was George? He was saving the little boy's balloon. Please don't be angry with him, said the mother. He saved my boy's balloon. George should not have taken my pail, said the keeper, but he did feed the monkeys. And now it's time to feed ourselves, George, said the man. There they all are talking. He's still upset with George because he didn't do what he was supposed to do, but he was doing something helpful and nice. And that's just what they did. What do you think George and the man with the yellow hat had for lunch? A bowl of bananas. I like bananas, but I don't think I want a whole bowl at once, but they are really good. There's the back cover. Has some words about what the story's about. I hope you enjoyed that pre-K, and next week we'll see you again with another story. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.